In today's video, I'm going to be talking about my top favorite games of all time, starting with 40 to 31. And in case you guys missed it, I talked about my top 50 games in another video, which I'll have a link for in the description box down below. In that video, I talk about 50 to 41, so check that out. Now, with that being said, let's just jump right into the video with number 40. Atlantis Rising. Atlantis is taking on water and is slowly sinking, and you and your fellow teammates must work together to save this from happening. In this game, you must use your leader's abilities and use your workers to complete goals before it is too late and you lose too many resources. Now, what I really enjoy about Atlantis Rising is how good this one plays cooperatively. It has stunning artwork and the characters' abilities, all the asymmetrical powers work really nice together. And if you work together, you can surely beat it. But sometimes there's an event card that screws everything up, but it's always a fun time to play. Highly recommend this one if you're looking for a good cooperative game. Now, with that being said, let's move on to number 39. Now, coming in at number 39, I have The Hunger. Now, this game plays a lot like Clank, but in this game, you are playing as vampires seeking an ancient mystical rose that will grant you a lot of victory points if you can get to it right away. So the further you travel on the board, the more points you will earn. And there's only 15 turns until the game ends. So if you're not back to the safety of your castle, the sun comes up and anyone left on the board technically dies. There's no dragon and no health to keep track of, but that is how it's kind of related to Clank. There is speed in the game that you use to move on the board and also to collect humans, or I should say hunt humans, not actually buy them, because technically you're eating them or turning them into vampires. However, when they go into your deck, they slow you down because they don't actually produce any speed themselves. They only are really worth victory points. And the person with the most victory points at the end of the game wins. It's a really fun deck builder, and I highly recommend this one if you are looking for a game that's similar to Clank but has a different twist on it. Highly recommend The Hunger. I really enjoy it, but not as much as I enjoy Clank. That is why this one is sitting at number 39. And with that being said, let's move on to the next game. Raiders of the North Sea. This one has a different take on worker placement. See, in this game, each time a player puts down a worker down on a location to take that action, they then must remove a worker from another location action and they can take that action as well. However, it opens up a spot for another player to take. So they always gotta keep in mind what spots they're opening up to see if they help another player out. And that just gives the game a lot more depth to it, and I really like that about this game. Again, great artwork, great theme. I love Viking games, I love worker placement games. This is a smash hit for me. Coming in at number 37, I have a nice, friendly family flicking game, and that is Ice Cool. I cannot even tell you how much fun I've had with this game. It's been a blast to play. It's a flicking game where each round, someone is playing as a teacher or a hall monitor, trying to catch their students before they collect all their fish to score points. It's a super silly, fun family game, and that is why I really enjoy this one, and it is sitting at number 37. Coming in at number 36, I have a game that I would really be surprised if you haven't heard of it. It's another great co-op game, and that is Pandemic. In this game, there are several different diseases spreading throughout the world, and you and your fellow teammates must work together and use your abilities and actions to come up with a cure for each one of these diseases. If you can do that, then you win the game. If you can't and there are too many outbreaks, then you lose the game. It takes good teamwork and cooperation to work at this game. There's also a bunch of different legacy versions of this game, season 0 to 3, I believe. Definitely check those out. Those are also really great games, but I just have the regular Pandemic with me today. Great cooperative game. Highly recommend you at least give this one a try to see if it works for you. Now, coming in at number 35, I have the newest game in my collection, and that is Mindbug. I actually backed this one on Kickstarter, but I believe it is available on their website. I'll have a link for it down below if you want to check it out. But this is a 2-player card dueling game. I believe you can play in teams as well if you have more decks to mix together. And the goal of this game is pretty much to eliminate the other player, and every player has 3 life points, and there's different creature cards that you can play. Some with different abilities, some let you sneak attack a player, some let you survive an attack twice. There's only 2 actions you can take, play a card or attack, and you can only attack with 1 creature, so it makes the game very interesting. See, what makes Mindbug really unique is the fact when someone plays a creature card, every player has 2 Mindbugs to start the game, and you can play your Mindbug to take control of a creature that somebody just played. So you must play them wisely and not to waste them. Now, what makes Mindbug play really fast is the fact that you only get 10 cards to play with through the whole game. You get 5 cards in your hand to start with, and then a 5-card draw deck. So whenever you play a creature card, you can draw a new card. I can highly recommend this one if you like good card dueling games. Now, coming in at number 34, we have a game that is said to be the first deck builder. And I'm talking about Dominion. Dominion is a straight deck building game where the whole goal of the game is just to buy more cards and buy your victory points. Once the victory point stack has run out, the game ends and everyone calculates their points. Whoever the most points wins the game. Super basic concept, super basic theme, a smash hit. I love deck builders and I have to have this in my top 50 games of all time. There's tons of expansions for it. Tons of abilities of cards and combos you can come up with. There's curses in the game to make people lose points. If you're looking for a good deck building game and you want to see where it all started, this is the game to check out. Dominion coming in at my number 34. 33, Mansions of Madness, the second edition. Now keep in mind this is an app-driven game, but this one really immerses you in the story and the mystery as you discover clues and answers in this weird Arkham haunted mansion. It's an incredible horror game. I highly recommend the second edition because the app does a lot of things for you that you don't have to do manually that you have to do in the first edition. Now, I'm a huge fan of the show Yellowstone. Highly recommend it if you haven't checked it out. But this next game makes me want to play it every time I watch that show. And it is probably the best Western game in my opinion. Keep in mind, I don't really play a lot of Westerns. But coming in at number 32, I have Western Legends. Play in the Wild West with this open sandbox game where you can choose to be bad or good. If someone is too bad, you can either duel them, rob them, or even arrest them if you are on the same location as them. Now there's also poker cards in this game that allow you to do different actions, or you can save them to play poker, which I'm a fan of because I'm a huge poker fan. Like I said, this is a great Western themed game. Highly recommend trying this one out if you haven't and you're looking for a good Western themed game. I don't think there's one better, but if there is, make sure to recommend them in the comment section down below. Coming in at number 31, I have yet another cooperative game. I know I mentioned a lot of them so far, but going forward, I promise there's not going to be so much. That's just how this list kind of came out. With that being said, number 31 is Marvel United. Try to defeat villains before they complete their master plan and stop them from capturing bystanders. Work together with your fellow teammates and carefully plan out your cards so you can create some epic combos. This is a very easy to learn cooperative game, and if you're a Marvel nerd like me, I can highly recommend this one. It is by Simon, and they actually have a new version of this game coming out, an expansion of sorts, Marvel United Multiverse. That is actually going to be hitting Kickstarter in January, I believe, but I'll talk about that in a separate video. If you guys wish to check out more of my top 10 list, I'll have a playlist right here for you guys to check out, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.